Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 2 of our league tournament with Stellar Crown Legal that happened at Die Hard Games on September 26th, 2024. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. Spooky League Challenge, Thursday, October 24th at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games. Go see more info in this video's description, and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as league challenges, league cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. On the left, the new Galvantula EX. On the right, Lugia. It looks like our Galvantula player mulliganed a couple of times, so that's why we've seen our Lugia player grab a couple of cards from the top before drawing for turn. Lugia is going first, as they prefer, and they start things off with a Nest Ball. In order to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto the bench, and let's establish the main character of this deck, the Lugia V. Next is Messagoza. That stadium has the player flip a coin, and if heads, search your deck for a Pokemon. It looks like we did flip heads with the 6 there. Evens is heads on a die. So search the deck for the all-important second main character of the deck, that Archeops with the powerful Primal Turbo ability that we will get into as we do. Thanks, Messagoza. And let's see what else our Lugia player has. Getting Archeops in the discard pile would be very nice, but it's not the most important thing as getting that Lugia V down. V-Guard energy gets attached to the active Lumineon, and then play passes over to our Galvantula player here with Joltik in the active spot. Radiant Greninja on the bench, now joined by another Joltik and another Pokemon with 70 HP or less, thanks to that Buddy Buddy Poffin here. That item, of course, has you search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench. So second Joltik established, as well as a Bidoof, the powerful support Pokemon. Joltik, I think our Joltik player actually does prefer to go second here, so maybe they won the flip, because you can only attack on your first turn if you go second, and that Joltik has an amazing attack, but not before a Crispin is played. That new Stellar Crown supporter has the player search their deck for 2 different basic energy. They can accelerate one of them onto a Pokemon they have in play, and then put the other one into their hand. So it looks like our targets are going to be a Grass and a Lightning energy. And Joltik has the Jolting Charge attack. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Grass energy and up to 2 basic Lightning energy cards from your deck, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. For a colorless energy, Jolting Charge, 30 HP Joltik. Actually, a Lightning energy is going to be put onto the bench, Joltik. Okay, never mind. We're doing Crispin here. Excuse me. So Crispin accelerated the energy, or Crispin, found the Grass and the Lightning from the deck, accelerated the Lightning onto the bench, Joltik, put the Grass in hand, then manually attach a Fighting energy to the active Joltik. And we've got the beautiful ability markers here. Radiant Greninja uses its Concealed Cards ability to discard a energy card and then draw 2 more cards. Chansey is found and put onto the bench here. And finally, Joltik uses its Jolting Charge attack to accelerate up to 4 energy cards from the deck onto the field in any way we like. We're going for the full 2 Grass, 2 Lightning. Let's see how they get distributed. Of course, they're probably going to be split up, spread around the board. And this is a brand new deck for me, so I'm not exactly sure what's the correct thing to do. You probably abandon powering up the active Joltik, because it can be easily KO'd on the next turn. Maybe you do to kind of bait/force the KO. And the opponent might chase something else on the bench too, so you establish multiple threats, I guess. There we go, a couple on the Chansey, one on the active, one on the bench Joltik, and things are passed over to our Lugia player, who just saw 6 energy be put into play that turn. Lugia V-Star appears on the bench thanks to Pokemon Evolution. Now we've got to get, ideally, the 2 Archeops in the discard pile, as that Ultra Ball will do just that. Ultra Ball discards 2 cards, 2 Archeops, in order to search the deck for a Pokemon, Basic or Evolution. The Lumineon will be found here, second Lumineon, since the unfortunate Lumineon start happened to begin this game. Alright, Lumineon's found off of the Ultra Ball. Lumineon gets put onto the bench, activating its Luminous Sign ability in order to search the deck for a supporter card. That boss's orders plucked out of the deck with the fish. So we are actually going to chase a different target, as Lugia now uses its Summoning Star, V-Star Power ability to put 2 Archeops from the discard pile onto the bench, summoning them from the grave, more or less. Now the Archeops each have the Primal Turbo ability. You can search your deck for up to 2 special energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Times 2, of course, since there are 2 Archeops in play. So let's see how our Lugia player goes in here. Now Lugia is weak to lightning, so that's kind of scary facing the lightning type Galvantula, but it looks like that's our choice of attacker here, as the 4 special energy cards gets accelerated here. Mist Energy, Gift Energy, Jet Energy, I think, and maybe a double turbo all go onto that Lugia V-Star with the double Primal Turbo. Yeah, that's what it looks like's happening here. Now the Lumineon will retreat into that now powered up Lugia. Curious as to why we put the double turbo on that Lugia. Maybe because hitting the 220 doesn't matter. Double turbo, of course, reduces the attack damage by 20. So Lugia's attack will do 200 damage currently. Tempest Dive, I think is the attack name. 220 base damage, minus 20 because of the double turbo energy, and you may discard a Stadium in play with Tempest Dive. Let's see if there's any other plays our Lugia play. They are going to play at Boss's Orders, of course. Boss's Orders bring up the Chansey into the active spot and take the KO on it with Tempest Dive. Looks like they're going to leave the Messagoza in play. Our Joltik frantically crawls back into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. Let's see how our Joltik player can respond here, attaching a Grass Energy to the active Joltik. There are supporters in hand, so we will see things happen as an Arven is played. That allows the player to search their deck for an item and a tool card. They are going to grab the Capturing Aroma, Rapid Aroma, why can I not think of the name of that? Ace Spec. Hyper Aroma, that's what it is. That Ace Spec item card there allows the player to search their deck for up to 3 Stage 1 Pokemon and put them into their hand. So they're going to grab double Galvantula EX and the Bibarel. Next, Messagoza is activated, flipping tails on it, I believe. But that's okay, we had the Hyper Aroma. We're going to see a bunch of Pokemon evolve here. Double Galvantula in play now, as well as the support Bibarel. That Power Glass tool is attached to the active Galvantula EX. And I think we are one-shotting this Lugia now. Power Glass gets attached to the bench Galvantula EX as well. New Stellar Crown cards must be read here. Are they going to go for the Charged Web or the Fulgurite, if I'm saying that right? Either way, a Industrious Incisors will be used first thanks to the Bibarel on the bench. Draw up to 5 cards in hand. Looks like that Blissey EX was found, so unfortunate that that Chansey was knocked out that last turn for our Galvantula player here, but I don't think they're going to argue too much with getting the one shot here. I think they get the one shot with Charged Web, so they don't have to discard all the energy. And yeah, they actually are going for the item lock attack. Okay. Alright, so Galvantula has a couple attacks. It looks like we're using its second attack, Fulgurite here, 180 base damage. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. Okay, so yeah, they did that attack. That was able to one-shot the Lugia, because Lugia is weak to lightning. And then the Power Glass that's attached to the Galvantula, that tool card, says at the end of your turn, after you attack, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to it. So that's why we saw that fighting energy get reattached to the Galvantula from the discard pile, thanks to the Power Glass there. Lugia is KO'd, so our Lugia player must promote a new active Pokemon. I don't think it matters too much, because you're not attacking the Galvantula with any of these Pokemon, ideally. So Archeops flies to the active spot, and play resumes over on its side. And our Lugia player starts this turn off with an Iono. Both players shuffle their hand, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. 4 for the Galvantula player, 5 for the Lugia player, I believe, in this instance. So who does our Lugia player want to attack with? First is a... Aha! Good call. Cannot play the Capturing Aroma item because they are under item lock thanks to Fulgurite. So instead going to go for the Messagoza, flipping that coin, or flipping the die, and it was a heads. So they get to search their deck for a Pokemon. Basic or Evolution. Messagoza never discriminates there in the college town there. Open your mind. Think for yourself. Question authority. And have some fun playing some Pokemon. As that Mincino is found and put onto the bench. Just a little bit too late here, as you would have loved to have that down next turn, so it could evolve into the Chinchino this turn to take a one-shot on the opposing. How much HP? 260 HP, Galvantula EX. You guys are getting a good taste of the Stellar Crown here in this captured footage. I wish I could capture all the games always, of course, but we can give you a peek into the world of Pokemon. You just got to show up on a league night to get the full experience, right? Free play or tournament play. You could play however you want here. As a Miss Energy is manually attached to the active Archeops. Now we are seeing Primal Turbo, and we're going in with the Archeops. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Gift Energy and Jet Energy accelerated to the active Archeops with the first Primal Turbo. Second Primal Turbo will accelerate a couple more special energy to the bench Mincino. And then the Archeops will use its Speedwing attack for 120 damage onto the Galvantula. You know, it's not like I had big white stream dice here for our players to use. But that's okay, as our Galvantula player starts their next turn off with a Nest Ball to search the deck for a Chansey to add to the bench. Next was a Messagoza flipping tails there. At least they're using the stream dice for the randomizers, I guess, even though you're supposed to use a clear die for a randomizer. Either way, we're chilling here on a Thursday league night as a Buddy Buddy Poffin is played next to search the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench. No targets selected there off of the Poffin. Playing another one, failing that one as well. Just burning the cards, thinning them out of the hand and deck since our player does not think that they need them anymore. It makes sense. They've got a couple of their main attackers out, their support Pokemon out, the Chansey's already there that it couldn't find anyways. So next is a Glass Trumpet. That new item card says you can only play this card if you have a Terra Pokemon in play. Choose up to 2 of your bench colorless Pokemon and attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of them. So the Bibarel gets a grass energy and the Chansey gets a lightning energy, thanks to the Glass Trumpet here. The Galvantula EX is the Terra Pokemon, of course. That's required. And then next is an Iono. You guys know this one. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. Good draw card, good disruption, solid card we have in the format there. As a second Glass Trumpet is played here to accelerate more energy from the discard pile to colorless Pokemon in play. So a fighting on the bench Bibarel and a grass on the bench Chansey. Lots of energy in play here. 6, 7 energy. Basic switch will allow the bench Galvantula to move into the active spot if our player thinks that's the best move. Okay. That Archeops is weak to lightning as well, I believe. It looks like our player is actually going to switch into the Bibarel. Final answer. There is a second switch in hand if they want to use that one too. Next is Industrious Incisors to draw up to 5 cards in hand. Alright, we found the Blissey, but I think that Chansey was just put down this turn. So a Nest Ball will be played next to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to add to the bench. Another Chansey will join the party here, so we have a guaranteed Blissey next turn in order to move basic energy around. Bibarel will manually retreat into the fresh Galvantula EX. Archeops is lightning weak, so a charged web should take the KO on it. No attack. Okay, that's interesting. It looks like we just switched into the Galvantula and passed. I'm going to confirm here to see if our Lugia player starts playing. There we go. We got the stream dice going on here now. That makes me so happy. As our Lugia players line up their hand trying to decide the best move. Yeah, it looks like our Galvantula player just passed there. I wonder why they didn't take the KO on the Archeops. Yeah, Charged Web for Lightning and Colorless, 110 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX or Pokemon V, it does 110 more damage. I'm pretty sure the Archeops is weak to lightning, so I think we had the KO with the Charged Web there. But I assume our Galvantula player has a plan. That's why I'm here watching the game in the Professor's Lab, so we'll just move forward with our Lugia player's turn. Also, if I'm missing something about why there was an attack there or what happened there, please just let me know in the comments. Also, if our players watching, feel free to enlighten us in the comments there. As we did, I got a little distracted, so we're going to go back in time here in the Professor's Lab at the start of our Lugia's player's turn here. We had the manual retreat into the Galvantula. I get why they wanted that one in the active spot. It can probably tank a hit. I don't know. They're putting it at risk to get knocked out with its Encino. But that Power Glass is only active if that Pokemon's in the active spot. So they're just trying to get energy accelerated to it. And I think you'd want to go for that KO if you could there. Either way, our Lugia player is going to start things off for us. Mencino with 2 special energy on the bench. Double Archeops in play. I think the Minccino was in hand, or it can be with this Ultra Ball here. Discard 2 cards, search the deck for a Pokemon, basic or evolution. That Cinccino is found and evolved on the bench here. It has a special role attack for 2 colorless energy, 70 times the amount of special energy that's attached to it. Next, we are seeing Primal Turbo number 1 to accelerate a couple special energy to that Cinccino. Mist and Double Turbo. And we do have the retreat, since Archeops has a 1 retreat cost. So we can retreat into Minccino. We have, is Cinccino special energy or special energy cards? Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is put onto the bench here on Lugia's side for later turns, not this turn of course, but it's good to establish it onto the board, as a jet energy is attached to that Cinccino, moving it into the active spot. Now I'm sure we have plenty of energy on that Cinccino to take the KO. Remember, we wouldn't be seeing any of this if the double Archeops was gone. I think we could have still got there with the single Primal Turbo, but it would have just been a little more annoying for our Lugia player. I think that is a Professor's Research that will be played next after the shuffle. Yep, Professor's Research, discard the hand, draw 7 fresh new cards. We discarded a hand of 0. There was a fist bump or high 5 that needed to happen there, but that's okay. Special roll. This attack does 70 damage for each special energy card attached to this Pokemon. I think there's 5 of them on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 300 something damage. I won't even calculate. I'm sure that's a one-shot. I'll trust our players here, as Cinccino uses special roll to take the KO on the opposing Galvantula. For 2 more prize cards, Radiant Greninja moves into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. How can our Galvantula player respond here? Item locking isn't as disruptive since the Lugia player has their board built up already, so we're going to evolve the bench Chansey into Blissey EX. Blissey has the Happy Switch ability. Once during your turn, you may move a basic energy card from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. This is how you keep that Galvantula attack fueled, as a basic switch comes down, moving that Blissey EX into the active spot. It also has the return attack for 3 colorless energy, 180 damage. You may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So as long as there's a basic energy, there can be a return KO on this big Minccino here, as a Buddy Buddy Poffin is played to search the deck for a Joltik to add to the bench. Bibarel now uses Industrious Incisors to draw up to 5 cards in hand. The basic energy was found there, as Messagoza is being used here. Flip a coin. It must have been a heads, as the player is going into their deck to find a Pokemon card to add to their hand. They find that Blissey EX and immediately evolve the Chansey on the bench into it. We've got double Happy Switch down. Anything else to do other than attach and attack? Basic Switch actually moves the Blissey to the bench and the damaged Galvantula into the active spot. And are we going to try to item lock this turn? Kind of seems that way with this play. But if not, you go in with that Blissey with all the HP. Energy attached to the bench there. Now Happy Switch moves an energy from Blissey to the active Galvantula. Another Happy Switch moves another energy from the bench to the Galvantula. Its Fogarite attack is now fully charged up. And it looks like we're going in with that. Fulgurite, 180 damage. Item lock, discard all the energy. And then the Power Glass will move one of the energy from the discard pile to that active Pokemon. Blood Moon Ursaluna stomps into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. It's got the Season Skill ability where its attack costs one colorless less for each prize card the opponent has taken. I think it's a 5 colorless energy attack, so it's 3 colorless less. Since the opponent's taken 3 prize cards thanks to Blood Moon Ursaluna's Season Skill ability. Lugia V hits the bench here over on its side. Mostly just sits in and out of the deck, but you gotta be careful with that since it's weak to lightning. Double Turbo Energy attached to the active Blood Moon. So now it can attack. Next is Primal Turbo, I believe, on the Archeops to accelerate some energy from the deck. Special energy, of course. Looks like no special energy will be accelerated here. So our player's just kind of looking at their deck, seeing what's in there, what's there to last through the rest of the game for them. Blood Moon Ursaluna's attack does 240 base damage. Now it's doing 220 thanks to the reduction of the double turbo energy. Next is Mesagoza flipping tails. So Blood Moon Ursaluna attacks the opposing Galvantula EX, cleans up the KO on it. 2 more prize cards for our Lugia player. Blissey EX rolls to the active spot and play resumes over on its side. Player next plays an Arven to search their deck for an item and a tool. That glass trumpet is being eyed up as well as the power glass. We're getting all the glassware here today. Ultra Ball being played now to discard a couple of cards in order to search the deck for a Pokemon, Basic or Evolution. The third Galvantula EX is found and evolved onto the bench, protecting that 30 HP Joltik, giving it 260 now. The Glass Trumpet is played to accelerate energy from the discard pile to the Blissey and the Bibarel on the bench. Double Happy Switch guarantees the attack here, but no KO. Happy Switch moving, double Happy Switch moving double basic energy to the active Blissey EX. And then we just punch really hard, I guess. Power Glass put onto the active Blissey EX before deciding on the attack here. Next is Industrious Incisors on the bench to draw up to 5 cards in hand. Our Galvantula player trying to find any out they can to winning this game. With 1 prize card left on the opponent's side, though, it's a very scary situation. They are going to try to put themselves in the best position to not lose on the next turn. Night Stretcher is the item card played now to put a lightning energy from the discard pile back into hand. That gets attached to the bench Galvantula EX. And why did we draw? Oh, okay, because of the attack. So Blissey uses its return attack. 180 damage. You may draw until you have 6 cards in hand. Play resumes over on Lugia's side. Gift energy attached to the active Blood Moon Ursaluna. I believe Blood Moon has a 3 retreat cost. Let's double check that. Blood Moon Ursaluna, yep, does have a 3 retreat cost, so that's why the gift energy was attached there. So that way it could all be discarded to manually retreat into the Archeops boss's orders We'll bring up, oh, the Bibarel from the bench that has 120 HP. Archeops could do 120 damage, taking the KO on the Bibarel for the last prize card of the game. Oh, we got there, and what a good game to see here in our round 2. What do you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.